he's got the right players in his team who are flexible enough to be able to provide him with the ability to pick anything for them. Whereas not every team's like that. You're not spoiled quite so much in every team that you can pick anything and they can play.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been this spoiled, to be fair. And I think if you asked him, he would say I think he's having the most fun playing Dota 2 since like the Navi days, to be completely honest. And it shows in the way that they've been coming out over the last couple of months.
So we get an Omni.
Slacks will be happy.
Yeah, I always look at the other side and think, have we had a Rubik ban?
We have not. And it is a great Rubik game from both sides, but I don't think you can.
And you kind of get the better Omni, though.
I don't think you fit it in.
It is a bit tricky to fit now, isn't it? Unless you're going to play it as a core.
I think it's more likely we see something like an Ursa from Secret. You just want a lane dominator that can actually trade against the Omni, but it's tough. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised to see a Necro either.
What do you think about the Necro? Because that's also been talked a little bit about with the patch.
I mean, it's a solid hero. I think the concept right now that functions well are heroes. I haven't said this for a while, but you have these heroes that innately gain survivability while itemizing, and they go for the Ursa. It's just a lane dominator, and it's great synergy with the CM Jakiro. It makes sense. And it's also actually surprisingly good against Chen, because it's very difficult to pressure an Ursa, because he can just run for you and ult off any sort of CC you try and throw on him. It also sets them up for a last pick mid 1 hero, which could be, at this point, ult anything they want. Really. Your EG now. You love some kiting. You need some damage output, and you need that frontliner, some sort of like a Medusa type hero to play around. Could see Viper, actually. Viper's insane here.
He is really good.
Yeah, you remove the Bulwark pass or passive on Mars and the Fury swipes on the Ursa, but
the Lesh.
Confidence, baby. That's the Sumail Lesh. That's Seth game 1, Lesh game 2. This is what I'm talking about. If you want EG to win tournaments, I think this is how it's got to start. You got to be able to put Sumail on one of those heroes where he can just say, I'm better than you. Like, let's go.
I know they didn't win the major, but he seemed like he was back to his old self.
He's feeling
the performances were really good.
Do you think it's more important for him to be on a hero he wants to play and likes playing, and he knows he's going
for sure.
Like, way more than even just it doesn't necessarily fit the draft? I don't think you just get him on a hero he likes.
100%. And let him play like his game. I think something that EG has struggled with since this roster like came together originally, when specifically Arteezy and Sumail were playing together.
Right.
It was a while where they were trying to figure out, like, okay, who do we play around? You know, but what I feel works best is when Sumail is on, like, honestly, it's like all going back to like League of Legends, right? Sumail's got to be on the ability power, and Arteezy's on the attack damage. That's when it looks best, but they can both scale. When Sumail's on Storm, when he's on Lesh, SF with the magic build, like, that's when it feels like EG is at their best, because he's able to actually play aggressive and make things happen while still scaling, and Artur is now, you know, playing whatever carry hero you want to give him.
Gotcha.
Which they have to decide now after this ban. I like the Wraith King removal. That's big. One of the actually hard Ursa counters, because you blow your spells to kill him once, then you're slowed and he respawns on top of you.
You were talking about Kite. Leshrac gets pretty quick. He can just run away, right?
That's perfect. That's like this is, this is great. I love this EG lineup. I think it's as close to their bread and butter with a flare you could ask for. I think every player's on a comfort hero, but notably, like, look at the way, like, the cores, and like it just makes sense, right? You've got a crit Earth Spirit with 3 cores he can kill with. You've got Sumail on his signature Lesh, Arteezy on a hard carry Sven. Like, this is something we've seen for years and years. And you know,
do you not think that the Secrets lineup is also kind of good? Like,
it is, but it's not. I don't think it's as crisp just yet. And I also believe EG's last ban from Bubble was perceptive, because Medusa was the perfect last pick, especially if you're going to take Sven for Artur.
What can they do to get out of this now, dude?
They need a Medusa-esque hero, and they need something that can provide some kind of scaling ability.
The Ember would be here, wouldn't it?
Ember? Maybe. It's a tough game for it, though.
Invoker.
There we go.
This is going to be hype.
All right, then. A mid-1 Invoker.
The question is, so the thing about Invoker, there was a slight buff to Quas Wex, because he got 3 bonus damage
that was
just
not
added.
In this patch, that was before, right?
It was the 722, not
was
B.
Okay.
Yeah, but so you get 3 bonus damage, but Exort gives 1 less. and then scales up the same way. So if you go Quaspex, you just have 3 damage. And I think that this, if there was a game for Quaspex Invoker, it's so good against Chen, Omni, and Sven. You 22 EMP, they're now all worthless, and you've got tons of spell damage as a follow-up. It's just a like I just don't know. I have not seen Invoker in a long time. It's a new patch, and I just feel like it'll be a good game of Dota.
It's a mid-1 Invoker. What can possibly go wrong?
I mean, you've also got Mars Arena with Cataclysm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's the potential here for murder.
Yeah, to murder our pixels.
But this is going to be close. I think this is going to be close.
I'm surprised you didn't put your Taggart impression on there as well. There's been a murder.
It'll be murder.
There's been murder. Right then, we're going to head back to our commentary team for game number 2. Remember, EG ahead in this one. Best of 2, all on the line for them as they lead Team Secret 1-0.
That's right, Kyle was raving about the layering of Evil Genius's draft. Feels like they've got a little bit of everything. No real big weaknesses. Said the Team Secret needed some sort of X factor. Invoker last pick. Blitz, is that the X factor that they needed?
Oh, definitely. I mean, mid-1 Invoker. It's, let me just say, I love when Invoker's in the meta. I think Invoker might be my favorite hero to watch because he's so dynamic. You know, it's just a hero that like casts stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I like abilities casted. I'm very easy to please.
I am paying very close attention to the words you are using, though, because you are saying Invoker in the meta. I like watching the games. You good? Are you good with playing games that Invoker's in the meta? Because you don't play Invoker, right?
I don't play Invoker. I use. I'm a legacy player, which means you know, I'm just useless.
You know, I love the fact that you know, our game compared to certain other games, you don't have people that really specialize in certain heroes too much, but there are those heroes in the game that you have to be kind of a specialist for. Meatbo, I think Invoker is definitely one of them, and it is going to be.
Oh, look at this!
I think a.
Do you see this?
Yeah,
they're smoked up as 4. They're gonna wait for the ward placement and just gank mid-1 maybe.
I saw this in the OG Nip. OG, I think, did this 4-man smoke up, and they're going to try and get into the high ground area here. Not quite getting in range of Puppey. And that smoke is going to be a failure. How do you feel about the draft, though?
I do like the Invoker pick, because I think that you usually want these Invoker picks when you have a bunch of frontliners. Like, a lot of these mid-heroes that just, like, sit back and, like, snipe. You want something that can just run in for you, and Mars and Ursa, like, can you really ask for a better duo that just like walk in for you to start the fights?
Both of them have some sort of way to negate damage at a percentage.
Yeah.
And both of them are naturally tanky when they go in. Both of them have abilities to be able to create some sort of chaos or slowdown. Mars especially is super good at creating space for backline heroes.
Like, I mean, he just traps everybody in the ring, right?
Yeah.
You're just
which is good synergy, by the way, with the Ursa as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? Just run around in circles? Please stop.
Yeah. You know, welcome to Mars Arena.
Welcome to Mars Arena.
Don't do this to me.
Bah, bah. Blitz had a, let's say, not the best experience with Mars.
Yeah, let's Shiver 2.
In a previous
Shiver no one 2. Shout outs to them for having to deal with it too. But you know, mid-1 I think wants one back on Sumail after that last game.
Yeah. You think he's coming to this mid lane with some vengeance?
Yeah, like, the thing about it is, you know, it's like Kobe said, you gotta have a short memory. Shooters gotta shoot.
Yeah.
You gotta not think about the last game. You know, you gotta be willing to just block that out of your memory and get one back. And I think this is, you know, this will be a big moment for him to get this one back in a way.
I think that's why there are so many mids who are outspoken and can oftentimes come away as arrogant.
You want a short memory about things like this. It's not that they're trying to convince you that they're the best. It's that they're trying to convince themselves. And I think a lot of people lose sight of this. Is that confidence is what makes them what they are.
I'll tell you, that's one of the reasons that I just cannot play mid. It's not my lane. So oh boy, there's going to be a lot of fighting here. YapzOr's going to be our first blood here, but mid lane, we do have the Sun that came out just in time from Sumail. Not enough to finish him off, even with the lightning, it seems. Sumail
he's got Fairy Fire.
Not going to go for it. Does have Fairy Fire as well as that Quash just so rapidly regenning him back up. Over the top lane, they were already trying to push into S4 before with a spear that stunned him, and now they're going to chase him back to the tier 1 tower. They had another spear ready to go. They just got him a little bit lower, maybe.
Yeah, Sumail's actually just denying him out of the XP range on that range creep.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, he's doing fine again once in this lane. He almost got that solo kill, and
Do you think this matchup is supposed to go the way of Leshrac?
I'd imagine so, because Invoker has a really hard time dealing with heroes that can zone him back, as mid one just narrowly avoids the stun. Does have Cold Snap, and will save it because he doesn't want to use out his mana yet, but I would imagine that any hero that can push out the lane is good against Invoker.
Yeah, same way like Lina's good. You just spam your spells for CS, and Invoker can't do the same.
Any of those heroes that can't auto-secure range creeps always struggle against those kinds of heroes, as Nisha's going to get on.
They're going to be able to get the slow here. Can't really turn around and fight against that Warcry physical damage shield.
Yeah, part of the problem when you play these kinds of matchups is when somebody nukes back, you want to be able to like keep the lane like equilibrium somewhat okay.
Yeah.
But like Invoker, it's similar to like when you play OD and you have these heroes like Lina that can just like kind of force you off the lane. It's like a similar concept.
I like the confidence thing you were talking about, because whenever I play 1v1 mid against you, I'm always like, I always feel so bad and so unconfident about it that I just give you too much liberty.
Yeah,
and you just kind of run over me.
That's how, I mean, that's how mid, as soon as your confidence is broken, you're just not the same player. Like, remember when Bulba got...
So say shout out to the coach of BG.
You know, he was never the same after Ferrari gave him the old 1-2 at TI2. You know, when you get chunked so bad that like you're forced to like swap positions.
Yeah.
That happened to like Yanni's too. Remember Fogged used to be like a sick mid player, and then Dendy at ESWC, he told me after Dendy played Pudge against his Invoker, he was just done.
He's just a broken man afterwards.
Yeah, you're just not recovering. Once you lose that confidence, that like edge, you're just gone.
Yeah, people think that this is because this is online, there's no way that you can have some lasting scars, but apparently there is.
Nah, you know, once you're broken, you're broken. It's hard to recover that.
What do you think about Chen right now? Because I've heard a lot of talk about this hero. Kyle was pretty adamant about it being a top-tier pick and a lane winner. We're seeing it here, this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that you have to start with the little guy. You know, because of the max level cap thing.
Yeah. Feels like Chen's almost going to turn into like an ogre bot. You know, how his existence is like you don't really get to play a whole lot of Dota. Your best thing is your Divine Favor, your passive. Roll in from Crit. Not going to go for it just yet. Puppey's actually going to step in front of him because he wants to make sure that Crit can't actually roll in on top of Nisha. Nisha actually taking the time to kill Fly's little guy and dip into the trees once more. But Arteezy's just on hot pursuit, man. He was refusing to let these heroes go. Not really focusing on CS, but more on just beating back Secret, except for Crit. Gets a little too far forward there, and Nisha finds the opportunity to turn around and get a kill.
Yeah, and I mean, just a weird sequence of events there is. Felt like nobody was really willing to give up on that chase for quite some time. They are going to make the move, and Crit going to roll in, gets the stun.
The slow down there as well. Nisha going to drop dangerously low and should be able to finish him off. One last swing from Crit is all they need. Fly comes in with a long-range hit, and Crit will die here to trade out his life for the kill of the secret carry. This is the lanes that EG wants, right? The aggro try lane into the Ursa and give
you do not want Ursa against Omni.
Yeah.
But you don't really want Mars against Omni, I'd imagine, either.
Yeah, this is probably still a...
This should be just like an overall laning phase. I mean, it's going to go at least okay as mid lane. Sumail just hits the level 6, and this should be enough damage.
Tornado, they just need to stay on top of him, and he's dead. Sumail killing mid one, who, as you said, wanted to come back and get some vengeance for game 1, but this time it's Sumail who's lended the extra help from Crit. They do manage to connect, find the kill.
Quaspex Invoker's pretty notoriously hard to kill, just because obviously you can go invis, you can reset the fight with the tornado, but without any, I don't think he was wexed up there, and I mean, you're just not moving very fast anyways without boots and early levels. So Sumail's gonna pop the haste. He wants to make a move onto S4.
Oh, this would be a great kill. Zai is currently top of the CS4 team secret, but he's gonna miss the spear, and Sumail's just gonna be able to stay on top of him. And Sumail won't even be gone from the mid lane for too long, thanks to that haste rune. Actually, he's taking the time to farm up some hard camp creeps, I guess.
Yeah,
Roll in, top lane is going to be able to get it with the double centaurs. Misses one stun. Puppey turning around and just trying to get as much damage as possible out there, but looks like he's going to fall underneath his tier 1 tower. And YapzOr, well, he's got the backup of Nisha, so he doesn't have to be too scared. They're going to slow down. Oh, and mid one is actually going to cut him off here. Managed to get the stun onto Offlane. They're going to try and kill those centaurs as well. Both of them nailed by the tornado. Nisha picks up one, leaves the other one for YapzOr.
Get out of there, Conqueror.
So he wants to get back to the lane. I thought you said we're saying conquer with like an R, like you were Toby 1 or something.
Oh no,
but
I
it's
said Conqueror. Yeah.
I see.
I
was like,
love,
what?
in my opinion, I love neutral creeps. Like, you know, they're innocent.
They're the pure ones.
Oh,
They don't deserve any
Kick
of
back.
this. Nisha kicked back in a really good position, just in time for Sumail to make his rotation.
That's
Close
good
the distance
rotations.
with Sumail. Yeah,
and this is normally the moves that we see mid one make.
yeah.
It's actually Sumail that's just getting very active on the map from the get-go.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now that he is beginning to get those levels soon, this is
Oh,
going
no.
to turn into no Conqueror. He's dead.
Rest
He has
easy,
conquered
friend.
nothing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
6-3, 8 minutes in right now. As you said, Sumail making some very mid-one-esque moves around the map. There's some very early rotations, and as soon as he starts getting the levels in Diabolic Edict, those rotations are not going to just become kills, but objectives as well.
Yeah, mid one looks like he's headed down towards bottom. He wants to try to reset the lanes. This should sort of tip EG off though. Like when mid one gives his 5 position the lane like this should just kind of tell you something, as they're going to make the move on a Puppey to try to punish for mid one leaving this lane, and should be a kill, but is in fact
Oh, but
backing up
YapzOr
a little
here
bit.
is as well. S4 is being able to protect himself right now with the Divine Favor. Crit tries to get the aggro off him, will be okay. Sumail's just going to run down Puppey with that double damage rune. But just like last game, where YapzOr's the Rubik was able to pull the creep wave off the tower, similar situation here, by just his presence alone, will prevent the mid-tier 1 tower from taking too much damage.
Yeah, but now the move on the top, he only has 2 levels of the lightning, so he has started to scale a little bit more towards that edict so that he can punish for this. He's going to steal up this mini stack too, and Arteezy's just going to creep skip entirely as Nisha. I mean, you never feel good about this position as Ursa, because he is any sort of these like laning phase winners. Usually when you have an ability that lets you win a lane, conversely you take away the ability to catch up.
Yeah.
It's like Razor, right? He doesn't have, well, he's a lot better now, but before in the past it was you didn't really have a flash farm like creep clearing sort of
you
technique.
couldn't farm neutrals super well. It was just like, you needed to win your lane to be irrelevant.
Yeah,
hero.
so then you can just continue to snowball, because the timing of your hero matters so much as a result. And they just haven't really been able to get him online. And I think a lot of this comes down to the presence of crit. I think people will, I mean, correctly you'll think about Sumail's rotations and stuff like that, but crit has just bounced from top to bottom.
And he was very willing to give up his life in order to make Nisha's game harder.
Yes, and that's the stuff that you should focus on, because I mean, the lane was relatively even. Maybe Sumail has like a very slight lead in the mid lane, but you know, it was even enough. As the roll comes in, but crit, no mana, no rolling boulder. Sumail pops the invis, and looks like he wanted to try to go for something, but instead Crit's gonna use up the bottle, give it back to him.
I wanted to talk to you about this. We might as well do it on stream. I feel like the meta of DPN. We gonna go for this one at all? Don't think so.
Kill the mud golem.
Oh, he's actually gonna pull somebody in. They're gonna pull in somebody, so Crit can make the initiation here, and they're gonna pull in. It's gonna be Arteezy here, immediately met by Nisha. They're gonna need that stun though to be able to protect Crit, as he's gonna have so many heroes around him. A nice 2-man stun. Are they really gonna fight this one underneath the arena? They're gonna try. As S4 is gonna join him here with the extra bit of sustain. A big hit out from side. Almost enough to finish the spear. They are gonna be able to get Crit. Lock down Arteezy as well. Nisha pops in range to be able to gobble him up and goes for X4 next. He turns around, gets a big blast in, but Fly now surrounded by heroes. Mid one joining in the rest of Secret. Nisha actually dying to the golems from Fly, but this could be well worth it for Secret, especially if they finish up S4 here.
The mini juke.
And he does have stick charges for purification as well. Sumail choosing not to join in that engagement, instead prioritizing taking that mid tower, but won't be able to get it. And now maybe caught here as Fly trying to help him out. Tornado EMP, but S4 is here as well. He ran over pretty quickly, and they're going to pull in Crit as well now to try and take another team fight. And they are going to be able to get that cleanse onto Crit, taking off the cold snap. They're going to go for the kill on a YapzOr. Big purification hit, enough for Crit to be able to get that kill. But Secret quickly formulating a response, not giving up any objectives here. Are going to be able to maybe find Crit in an awkward position. Actually goes ahead and pops the ultimate. S4 is going to join him here. Might be able to get the kill onto Puppey. If he can get off the purification, just run him down instead and hold on to that mana, expecting maybe more of a fight. A spear completely whiffing there from Zai.
Zai's missed like 4 spears by people just kind of like gently sidestepping. But still a sick fight at top. All set up by the Mars Arena. You got the 4-man Ice Path, the 4-man. Look at that lineup too.
Yeah.
As soon as everybody crowds into it, they jump in. They line up perfectly for this. The tornado
such
hits
a
on
beautiful
4.
tornado, Ice Path. Every single ability that is AoE hits multiple heroes. And they just clean up so many from evil geniuses. But Blitz, in your opinion, was that worth it? For the EG lost the fight, but they're about to take not just the mid-tier 1 tower, but also the tier 1 top.
No, because similar to what I said about how EG's, when they got that 4-man kill, it not mattering, it works in the reverse too. I mean, it'd be really hypocritical of me to say, like, that was so sick for Secret when I wasn't able to say it for EG in the last game, right? Because you didn't take an objective off of it.
Yeah.
Instead, you lost your safe lane tower. S4 didn't lose his tower at bottom. That's usually like the rotation through, and Sumail might just get caught on
nice
here.
catch, leading off with the cold snap, long enough for the Ice Path to be able to land. Eula Scepter, make sure that the spear will miss. Sumail lasts a little bit longer, but not enough for EG to do anything to bail him out.
I think ideally you'd like to be able to take towers with this.
Yeah.
But I think because Nisha's game was slowed down so much, he can't just bully out this Omni anymore in this bottom lane. So he's going back for the Midas, try to recover. And they are going to get like a high value kill, but if you look at the actual net worth, and that's what you should right now, is it didn't really impact the overall game. They were up 3k before that kill, they're still up 3k after that kill, because you took, like, if you think about the way that smoke ganks work on single individual heroes in the early game, you're dedicating 4 heroes to not farming, not pushing out lanes, not getting XP on the map, whereas like the other heroes from EG, as soon as they see the smoke gank happen, if you don't decide to TP, you're just getting more farm on the map. So you're effectively like, yeah, Sumail loses net worth, but everybody else on the side of EG will gain net worth as a result.
Yeah, it's not just 4 heroes who were there for that gank, right? It's the setup time, pulling heroes into position to smoke, smoking to that target, then also being able to then split up again after you've gotten the kill and retake farm territory. I mean, if you look at the map, the Evil Genius is farming on 4 different heroes at that time.
Yeah, and part of that is because now that they've taken the tier 1 towers, both mid and top, there's not a lot of pressure for them to have to make moves if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Now they can sit back and farm because it's easier for them to protect their triangle. And, you know, it's easier for them to even play on the opposite side of the map. Like, you can take that top area, farm out that jungle, because Secret won't have vision there. It's just hard to get vision there. As Sumail is going to run in, they do have vision of him.
An Invis rune and a Chen, but they have a sentry down. They're going to be able to find Sumail. This is going to be a great setup for their team fight. An easy Sumail kill, and also means that they're tier 1 bottom.
I think he got
stay alive. Oh, by the ancient?
Yeah.
Ancient prowlers.
Oh man. That's another sidestep, but they are going to get 4 bounty runes, which is sick.
Big. I mean, that's like an objective. I feel like whenever you talk about bounty runes, it's like an objective.
Completely agree.
The part that
they're going to pick up 4 for themselves there. I mean, I thought Arteezy was close to it, the one at top.
And snare out. They are going to throw out the arena, making this fight a lot harder for them just to be able to simply kill Puppey. S4 does have enough sustain, though, that he'll be okay. And now it's time for Crit to be able to strike. They've already blown so many abilities. He's going to make it his initiation, potentially giving up his life. A beautiful tornado, though. AG wanted to be able to follow up on that initiation, but they just fall short thanks to that tornado. And now things will look a whole lot more awkward. Another ensnare to make sure that Mars can't chase down Sumail here. As 2 fall, mid 1 wants to be able to find more. They think they're hiding in the trees, but that's not the case. Crystal Nova helping to spot out that they just retreated straight through the lane, and that will be the first objective, or at least tower-wise, for Team Secret.
Very surprised that EG decided to go for that without pulling back in Arteezy or having him TP.
Yeah.
He must have just judged for himself that it's not worth it, and he's not really... Like, the downside of going for these Midas builds is that part of your net worth is just... Like, a large chunk of your net worth, like a quarter of it, is tied into an item that doesn't really add to a team fight.
Yeah.
So it puts you in kind of a weird position in that regard.
If that's a blink dagger, Arteezy wants to be in
Yeah,
that
he's
fight.
probably down
100%.
there. I mean, he'll get a 4-man stun off of that.
Yeah.
But just kind of odd that they decided to take that anyways. It did buy him a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it also bought Nisha time. Now his Midas is kind of paying off a little bit. He's caught up a lot. Like, geez, he's caught up. Remember when he had... he was like level 4 when Arteezy was level 7? I thought the game from then was just really hard to recover, but... much more even game number 2 we have here.
Yeah, 1,000 net worth lead right now for EG. 10 to 10, 17 minutes in.
Oh, and he's going for
Is he going-
Maelstrom. Interesting.
On who?
On Invoker.
Oh, okay. So kind of like this right-click Quaswex build,
Yeah.
making use of Alacrity really well. That's interesting. So not completing out the Spirit Vessel, which is something that, while Quaswex did get a buff in the basic damage buff that happened to Invoker, the Spirit Vessel there has got to hurt the Quaswex Invoker. So he just sticks with the Urn for now. Builds into more right-click is S4. Not quite able to get on top of Puppey there because the Ice Path. Puppey with a 3-4-1 build. Maxing out Ice Path is his primary ability after the laning phase. First time this patch indeed. The 18-minute mark.
Pretty interesting.
So Evil Geniuses squatting up to defend their mid tower. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, was talk about these objectives, how they're all important. We see a shift in the meta, I would say, over the last month, where a lot more teams are no longer trading out safe lane towers. They're actively defending their safe lane. Why is that?
I think because it's just easier to fight around it. As 1 second, we might just have a fight here. As Fly pushing up quite far ahead.
The arena, they do manage to get a spear immediately dispelled off by the Omni Knight on crit. They're going to fight inside of this with Nisha as well, but on the side, Arteezy's being controlled up well by mid one. That's where Crit coming into the rescue, trying to slow down mid one as best as possible, rolls into him. Zai's going to be left to try and finish off Arteezy, but a stun stops him, and the Ice Path is not going to be there in time. Arteezy managed to get out while Nisha's the one to die, but now a spear locking into Crit. He's going to try and go for this kill, but the Sunstrike a little bit off the mark there. Deafening Blast pushes him away. The retreat from mid one is a great Ice Path from Puppey, but it may cost him his life. He's trying to get the kill on Crit, but again, the sustain, just the heals coming out from S4 non-stop, making this difficult. Zai, he is being a little bit of pain in EG's ass right now as he immediately cuts the creep away, tries to get it dodged out by these geniuses. They found him, and they will get a third kill out of that team fight.
Crit just destroyed this fight. He got to the back line, he rolls past everybody to find the Invoker, then he continues the chase to the left side. Like, he soaked up an inordinate amount of attention in that engagement.
I have to say, I really like the Omni Knight versus this Mars.
Yeah,
I know we've both been spamming Mars, right? For me, it feels like this hero, you need your burst damage. So any sustain that you're matched up against, I hate playing against a Baden, for example, because the hard dispel of my spear into the wall just screws up everything for me.
He's a very bursty hero too. Like all burst type. He's interesting because he's like the hybrid burst. Because it's like what makes him so good is that he bursts you in both physical and magic. He can do it both ways, which allows him to scale. But any type of hero like that really gets messed up by heals.
Yeah.
Because it screws with your ability to like just go in, jump, insta, move on to the next target.
You're thinking to myself, you're like, I'm making this a 4 versus 5, and then this
He's
one
gone.
hero.
Yeah, and then we can reset the fight from here on.
Last patch it was a Baden. This here we've got Omni Knight with the hard dispel as well.
And they gotta go in.
Mid one, trying to throw a tornado, poking at them with the EMP as well, but they can't commit to this Roshan. Puppey's a little bit too far away. They are going to find S4 here inside of the river. Nisha trying to go for it. The arena actually dropped in pretty good position, especially with the macro pile laid out. S4 is going to die here. The Enrage dodging a lot of damage. Samael is going to just try and run and use that first life. Now the stun follow up. They're going on to these tanky Mars, but this beautiful Ice Path after Ice Path. Now the Spear toss back as well. Zai actually living. Samael on his second life is getting kited almost dead here as he self-fueled Scepters, and Nisha managed to bring him down. Another beautiful Ice Path. Puppey, you got to stop it. He's freezing everyone from Evil Geniuses is in place. Now Arteezy forced to use his first BKB defensively to TP out. That is not the fight that Evil Geniuses thought they were going to get themselves into. As Secret, White 4, add in one more of the Aegis life of Sumail.
And they're going to get the mid tower for that too. And that was all the supports from Secret. It was YapzOr with the high ground ultimate, Puppey with 2-man, 3-man Ice Path after Ice Path. They completely split up the fight, make it nearly impossible for EG to take that engagement. I was surprised at first that they decided to go for that fight. Secret, they didn't have their Tornado EMP up because he used it into the Roche pit.
Yeah.
Plus there was a mid tower on the side of EG, and they had Aegis. I thought all those factors combined with the freshly picked up BKB from Arteezy should swing that fight in your favor. But the two supports on the side of Secret, they split that fight up so well. Just great spellcasting overall. And you see that Sumail, like, yes, he does have the Aegis there, but the first time it's popped, you know, he's got no defensive ability aside from that Yules. As we see the Ice Pack catches S4.
I think that's another big thing. They start off the fight being able to kill S4.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that's just a huge opportunity. Also, that Mars ultimate is sick, by the way.
And look at Arteezy. He's been trapped out the entire time.
Yeah.
YapzOr comes in over the top. Oh, that was so well done.
We're going to get back into it as S4. Most of his mana burned away by the EMP. Now a Blink Dagger for Arteezy. So that'll help out a lot. You saw from that last fight, he did not want to
stand
pop
outside that wall.
Yeah, he didn't want to pop his BKB just to get inside the arena.
Yeah, that was a very awkward engagement for him because he was sort of in no man's land. He was like at the very top of the river.
Yeah.
Couldn't really get past anything, didn't want to walk uphill blind because he wasn't the one with the Aegis. It was just a very awkward position for them to be in.
But now Zai's got that hard initiation for them as well with a Blink Dagger follow-up after the Vlads. Interesting to note that he did go for a pretty heavy, like, early to mid-game build with phase, Vlads, and drums. Like, usually you only see 2 of those items.
Yeah, it has slowed down his Blink Dagger timing, but I mean, the best part about Mars as a hero is that it just feels good to play him because once you have Vlads, plus any sort of damage, like phase alone, just like one-shot creep waves, no problem.
You farm so quickly at that point.
You're able to do Ancients. Like
5-man smoke up. Sumail pushing in the mid lane while still staying invisible, while the rest of his team going to go for that triangle area. But the aggressive ward is going to spot this, and that's why Zai, he was willing to farm that triangle because he had that quick reaction Blink Dagger to be able to get away once the smoke popped.
It becomes very obvious once the courier goes back and forth within a short period of time.
Yeah.
That the smoke's been laid out, and Secret was very attentive to that because they saw it just like bounce real quick.
Yeah, and the great aggressive vision that they had in the mid lane.
Oh, they thought about it for a second with Zai. Just testing the waters a little bit here as we have a very even game on our hands right now for game number 2.
How do you think this game's going to go, like, later on? I feel like it's not as obvious, the scaling factor.
Yeah, I think because I think last game for me anyways, if it hits like an hour, I could see one team like more definitively winning than the other.
Yeah.
Whereas in this game, I think it's a lot more even.
There's a lot of ebbs and flows of like when Sven's going to feel really strong and when the kiting's going to be a problem for him.
Yeah, part of what makes it so interesting is because you have both Ursa and...
Oh, the spear! Pulling him back into that tree. And S4 quickly gets picked off, and we've seen it before. Once S4 is dead, Secret feel really good about the fight, and that's why Arteezy really pops his BKB. That is his second use.
That is the second use without it being aggressive at all. Yeah. That is the second defensive usage of the BKB, and it matters a lot against Secret's lineup. You get to this 5-second BKB, the supports will kite you. They've got Ice Path, they've got Crystal Nova. Your life does get progressively harder.
I mean, let's not forget a Quaswex Invoker is extremely good at kiting you around.
Yeah, your job just becomes harder and harder, and conversely, Nisha, you know, despite not having an Aegis on an Ursa or anything like that, still has 10 seconds on his BKB. His life has been very good. He's been able to just sort of run in to start fights. And it all starts from that mid engagement where, I mean, EG still kept their mid tower alive. They were like 4K up. They had just done Roshan. That should have been the point of the game where things start to snowball really hard for them. But instead it was just Secret taking that fight on the perfect angle because they kept drawing the fight onto their high ground.
Yeah.
It made it really hard because if you're at the bottom of the river like that and Secret can just kind of like poke in, poke out.
It's like the perfect position Invoker wants to be in.
Yes.
He's on a high ground. He's able to poke at you nonstop, especially this Invoker, where you're actually kind of right-click focused with the
He's gonna go back
build.
for the Yags.
He is going to go back for the Axe
You have
and
to.
is getting damn close to it. Just needs another 900 gold.
I can't imagine a world in which Invoker doesn't go Hex.
Oh, yeah.
It feels real bad just being able to cast like 3.
Oh, pick off Yule Scepter, and that is going to be enough to get the kill on Puppey. Can Zai take on Sumail? He does have some extra health, but Zai may end up dying here soon. He's going to be able to get off the Magic Wand stick. Is that going to be enough? Sumail almost getting the kill. The force stab, he barely gets it. Looks like just that last right click was enough to be able to get the kill onto Zai. The force staff wasn't enough to save him there.
A very good 2 for 1, but what are you making out of it? You know, the rest of his team just farming up, but I feel like if you're EG, you do want to be taking fights. Like
Yeah.
Arteezy, you get this early BKB, you get like your third big item is going to be the BKB. That usually tells you like, oh, we want to take as many engagements as possible. But 8-second BKB, like that 2-second timer is going to make quite a big of a difference. He's going to take this tower. So they do get something out of it on top of the 2 kills. So it doesn't make Sumail's sacrifice entirely nullified, as Crystal Maiden does have the
2
GPM.
kills and knowing there was like mass TP rotations. They're like, nobody can be here at top.
YapzOr's almost going to
Go
have
for it.
BKB.
Oh god, that hero with the BKB, now that you get the armor,
This area will be his.
it's so good. Especially since you're dealing with 2 cores that don't want to build BKB themselves in the Leshrac early on, as well as the Omni Knight. Doesn't want to go BKB either.
Oh, another hidden effect too is that the Midas is obviously very good against the Chen. I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that's why he built it. I think he built it because he was like level 5 at like 13 minutes, but
Yeah.
it is one of those like nice.
Ward immediately going to get countered here. Puppey going to try and make his way to the low ground. Evil Geniuses not jumping at the opportunity to kill that 5 position. They want something bigger, and they're trying to go for the fast kill on Nisha. He does manage to get off his BKB and rage, and now turns onto Arteezy. Arteezy forced to back away for a moment, but is ready to jump back in. Zai, he tries to make his initiation with the arena, locking down 2 of these heroes with the ice pass as well. Actually gets knocked away from the ice pass to Sumail. Is able to cast some spells onto Zai. Zai trying to push him away. Does manage to get the kill on Zai in the back line, though. Arteezy immediately found mid-1. Gets that big kill. 5 extra coming in. The Ursa, as well as Mars, are going to make their way back
Sumail's about
into this
to re-enter
engagement.
the
They
fight.
each try and get out right now, but Arteezy immediately trying to go for Nisha. Gets the stun, the follow-up, dodges that stun, but Nisha is stuck and dies.
And that was the buyback from Sumail, the TP in by the Chen, and now they're just kind of going for it. This is what we wanted to see out of EG with their send the early BKB, get them on top of heroes with the Blink Dagger finally able to do so, and this is the sort of fight that they wanted to be able to set up. Plus, the key here is S4 doesn't immediately get bursted.
Oh,
as
like I
the
said, they're
stun.
just like saying, let's go for it, boys, and they immediately find Puppey. But that is a 5 position who immediately buys back. Now Evil Geniuses need to try and make a clean escape here. Fortunately, because the Invoker's still down for 20 seconds, there wasn't the greatest catch.
That was the double buyback too from the side of Secret, which I think might have been like a split-second overreaction, because
Yeah.
EG was just able to really quickly disengage right there. And I really like how you pointed out that S4 getting bursted in the fight in the previous fights was what made the fight easy for Secret.
Yeah.
Their sustain around this Omni Knight, this Chen, is huge for them. If S4 is able to just back up his cores, he keeps Sumail alive, because Sumail is not very tanky.
Yeah. I mean, it helps out the like non-BKB timing of the Sven as well,
Yeah.
when he gets the status resistance.
We're going to see a similar situation from the previous game where Secret tried to set up around that bottom bounty rune area, thinking that maybe EG would just split up, take bounty runes
Yeah.
as a result of having won that fight. But, you know, part of Dota is learning from your mistakes. But they are, in fact, even deeper into the jungle this time around.
And they may still catch EG in the same mistake that they made before. There's the arena. No spear, a clean whip, and now Zai may be in trouble here, so they're going to be able to pop that on the ultimate. And Nisha is left without a target. Can't really go for anybody. The Mars is dead with a dieback there. BKB activated just in time before the stun. The Tornado trying to slow things down onto Sumail. They still can get up with the ice path as well. That's going to be Aegis down with a beautiful CM ultimate from YapzOr. They get extra armor. Arteezy just can't burst him. He finally finished him off. Now to deal with the bear as well, but the enrage turns around, gets the bash. Not enough to get the kill on Arteezy. It's one big swing, brings down Nisha. That's
They're gonna
4
catch
dead
up
on the
to
side of
Puppey.
Secret. Puppey's not going to make it out alive. 5 dead, no buybacks on Secret. They thought they could get the fast kill, but Arteezy and S4
Those are the worst people to run into.
it.
Yeah, that was the AC BKB Sven with an Omni behind him. Zai with the just the whiff of the sentry. Like, maybe if he pins him there, they have an opportunity to win that fight. But even then, it's still very optimistic in that position.
As soon as he gets off Guardian Angel, you had that deep sinking pit in your stomach where you're like, oh no.
Nisha with his BKB, he just sort of walked in a circle because he's like, well,
what do I do?
What do I do? This is, I mean, I guess I'm just sort of here. Gets bursted down and kited right after that, and there's so much time left still for them to respawn, and the edict going off.
EG. They didn't really need to go for the top lane of ranks, but they do get 2, and now going to focus on the tier 4s. This may leave an opportunity where Secret might be able to defend with the throne. Yeah, EG realized it too. The timers, they're going to come in a little bit too quick, so they have to back up. Maybe Evil Geniuses could have gone all in straight from the tier 3 into the throne and actually ended this game right away, but they still have a gigantic advantage. 17,000 net worth right now, 32 minutes in, 2 lanes of racks down. Secret are going to struggle to find a comeback from here.
And that was a really cool CM ulti, but YapzOr did live forever, but it just, you know, if the cores aren't able to deal damage, if the Ursa and the Mars get blown up like that, there's only so much they can do. And that was a beautiful Ice Path Tornado combo. Like, they've landed that multiple times, but just the damage isn't really there once those T heroes go down. Now you got a 10-second BKB on a crit. For Secret, it's being able to get on top of S4 and being able to get on top of Sumail. Like, Sumail's not very tanky. Aside from the Yule Scepter, like, once he lands, he just gets blown up.
Yeah.
But they haven't been able to set up those fights properly. Now Arteezy's entering the fray. He's positioning himself so far in front that it makes it really hard for them to do anything about it. And now you've got a BKB on Sumail too. The fights just get harder and harder. And an Aghanim Scepter on the Omni, which I think is a really nice pickup because it means no matter where you are in the fight,
positioning is no longer a problem for this guy. He is going to be able to hard counter Nisha trying to get a fast kill on somebody every single time.
It means that the most important thing is he no longer has to be in the arena. He doesn't have to risk it anymore. Yeah. He can just sit outside.
Because that was the way that Zai was looking to win the fight, right? Get the arena, lock down the Omni Knight, get both the Heavenly Grace as well as the Guardian Angel were like big factors, and now he can just chill out.
I mean,
it's 10-second duration, by the way.
I do like that Secret is like, they're still trying to play for the win, you know, going for the fight despite the Aegis up. They've done that twice now, and one time it pays off for them, one time it doesn't. But I think this one engagement night, it should feel pretty difficult because EG, it looks like they do understand like the path of victory now. Protect your Leshrac, protect your Omni. As, Secret, there's no towers, there's no tier 4s for them to defend, so EG feels real comfortable being in this position.
They leave Arteezy in the front lines. He's so tanky at this point. He's got almost 3,000 HP with an AC. It's not easy for someone like Nisha to go for that kill. We don't have the heavy explosive power of the Invoker yet either, as he's still trying to max out Exort, so it's not even like there's a heavy amount of magic burst damage either if they do manage to get the lockdown on the Sven. So limited in options here. Secret going for a 2-man smoke up. This is to the bottom lane because there's a double damage room there. They see that, they wanted that, but Sumail is already there to collect it. Immediately Secret turn around.
Run, flee.
Okay.
We tried.
That was our game plan. And it got
realistically speaking, like, I mean, Ursa DD, does that really change the fight for you? They have to counter that.
Yeah, it's still the Omni problem.
Ooh. I mean, your ideal team fight is getting onto the backline of EG. That is, if you have a chance of winning this game right now for Secret, it's a very like cool cat and mouse kind of game. It's always like that, you know, when you get into a team fight, it's always like a team will realize, both teams will realize, you know, because they're not stupid. Oh, we won this fight because of this, we lost this fight because of this. Yeah. And then now it's just, the cool part about it, when you have teams that are like 50-50 in skill and stuff like that, like when tier 1 teams play against each other, it's seeing the adjustments and how they make those adjustments.
Whether it's positioning, sometimes it's item builds.
It's like Sumail was like, oh, I just actually run in and die. And then Arteezy's like, don't worry, I'll start frontlining. I'll be the person like walking up hills and stuff like that. And then S4's like, I actually can't die. So whenever I go in and I try to act like I'm invincible, they burst me because Mars is an insane hero.
I mean, that was the very first like big Secret win, was they killed 4, right? And it started off I mean, there was the River fight as well where they killed S4, but in
Yeah.
that top like jungle area where they took that fight.
Yeah, kill S4, win a team fight. Don't kill S4. You know, he's sitting there, he casts 4 heals in a row in his ulti, and suddenly you can't do anything. But it is a very hard ask at this point because of how tanky he is. Like, as Arteezy's gonna pop the ulti, he's just gonna walk in, daring him
Speared
to go.
out, tried to get him locked onto the barracks there, but barely missed the building. You're gonna just try and keep on poking at Arteezy, trying to force out his BKB if possible. Or even just that on the ultimate, the BKB gonna go out from Nisha. There's gonna be heal here. You could see S4 holding on to his ultimate for as long as possible here. Does not want to give up that Guardian Angel if possible. Now jump back in from Arteezy. He's going to be the one to pop the BKB here. The arena goes out, does manage to lock down with the Cataclysm as well, but they manage to get the Heart Dispel onto Sumail. Gets away from the Cataclysm, and now pops his own BKB to turn and fight Nisha as best as possible with the YapzOr coming in. A great Crystal Field, but how can he actually do that much damage against these heroes? Look at how tanky Arteezy is. The Spear knocking him back in, but the Heart Dispel once again from the Omni-Knight. Finally, the BKB wearing out. YapzOr is going to be stunned up here. Zai trying to make his way back to the fountain is going to get kicked down by Crit. Immediately buy back him and Nisha as well. Throne being at half HP here, but mid one, look at Sumail just going in right on top of mid one. They managed to get that kill. He does have a buyback available, but instead they call GG as they know they cannot protect the throne. And Evil Geniuses managed to 2-0 the favorites. Team Secret here at ESL 1 Birmingham.
That was a very, very impressive game by Evil Geniuses. I felt like that was relatively clean.